2005 is the 30th anniversary of Oklahoma gardening. That's the anniversary when you give the gift of pearl. Well, we've decided to give our garden a gift of pearl in the form of white flowers. And we've selected a combination of white flowers that aren't just real common. And I'd just like to show you some of those we've got growing out here in this bed. First one I want to show you is right here. This is a type of marigold. It's known as French Vanilla Improved. And you can see it's not completely white. It has a lot of cream in that flower head. And this plant has actually been bred to try to get rid of that marigold type odor. So this is a very non-marigold smelling marigold. Right down here we've got some trailing white lantana. And the plants have been shaded out quite a bit, so we don't have a lot of blooms. But you can see some of those white flowers there at the end of that stem. Lantanas are great flowering plants for the heat of the summer. Right up here we've got a white flowering salvia. This is a salvia coccinea, and if you're familiar with that word coccinea, you'll know that it refers to the color red. Well, this is anything but red. This is the cultivar Snow Nymph, and it is a selection of the red flowering salvia coccinea, a great tropical type annual for our Oklahoma gardens. Well, further along the path here and into this part of the bed, we have some 4 o'clocks, and most 4 o'clocks have either magenta or pink flowers, but we've got a variety known as alba. It's got white flowers, and since we're not shooting this in the afternoon, the flowers aren't open yet. They're still a little bit closed up, but you can see that they are white, and I think make a really attractive addition to our white garden. 4 o'clocks are plants that are annual. They will sometimes overwinter as perennials in Oklahoma. They are native to Peru. They produce a large black tuber that we can actually dig up and bring inside and replant each year to have bigger 4 o'clocks in the garden. But a lot of our 4 o'clocks keep coming back in our gardens because of the seed. And I always thought the seed of 4 o'clocks were interesting. To me, they sort of look like a little miniature ripe avocado. So that's the way we keep our 4 o'clocks going in our garden. We've got a white flowering vine included in this garden right here. You can see it kind of climbing up on our 4 o'clocks and a few of these other plants. This is a little black-eyed Susan vine, and instead of having the typical yellow or orange flowers with the dark center, these are white. The species is also known as alba. It's got the beautiful white petals, and then that inner portion of the flower sort of a dark brown or purple. The alba black-eyed Susan vine, a tender vine, makes a great display during the growing season in Oklahoma. Well, right over here we've got a really unique white flower. This is known as cat's whiskers, and it's a tropical plant. We could refer to it as a tender perennial. It's got beautiful white flowers, and then out on the ends here of the stamens and the pistil, you can see that they have a little bit of a lavender color. This is sometimes available at the nurseries. Plant in the mint family, the cat's whiskers. It also comes in lavender. We've got a stem right here. You can see the difference between the white and the lavender, cat's whiskers. These are great because they do provide a lot of color during the hot part of the year. Well, right up here we've got a white canna. This is the variety Ermine, and we've talked about it on our program a time or two in the past. We like mixing the white cannas with the reds, yellows, and oranges. Mixing this white with those hot colors really makes a great combination. Well, further along here, we've got some other white plants. We've got some white pentas right here. Those are great to give us those ball-shaped white flower heads, those interesting clusters, really showy in the garden. We have lots of reds and pinks in our gardens every year, but we also wanted to include some white pentas for our white garden. And finally, the last plant I want to show you is here on the end. This is the Jimson weed, or angel's trumpet, or sometimes referred to as the devil's trumpet, and it has those long white tubular flowers. We've got one blooming right down here on the base, or it's just about to open up anyway. but a poisonous plant, but showy in the garden, kind of has blue-green foliage. Another common name for this plant is thorn apple, and if you look at the fruit, I think you can see why it's called thorn apple. The fruit pod, or that seed pod, is covered with those prickly thorns. A great plant for adding white color, but it will give us several seedlings in our garden here that we'll have for years to come. But I just wanted to show you this collection of white flowering plants to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Oklahoma gardening.